We're sitting in the Sunshine Cafe, which is the restaurant area for the Capital Area Career Center's hospitality program. Hospitality is a new term here at the Career Center in 1989, and we're going to be talking with Sally Potter, the new instructor. Glad you could join us today.
Very glad to be here.
Great. Well, the Sunshine Cafe has been in operation for 10 years, but with the new title and the transition into hospitality, this is a big change year. Can you tell us what's taking place in hospitality for the students who are watching this video?
What's taking place is we're taking the program that we've had, which is a general food service worker program, and we're expanding it. We're going to take one program and sort of divide it into three areas. We'll keep the food service area, and we'll add a chef area and an introduction to hospitality management area. So after 18 or 27 weeks, a student can, of learning the basics, a student can then choose what area they'd like to go into.
Okay. Now, for the historical perspective, that food service worker includes what kinds of titles, what occupations?
Food service worker, as it is now, students learn the back of the house. They learn to prepare food, to handle food, to order food, to prepare food. They learn the grill. They learn some baked items. They learn about the machines back there. In the front of the house, or the customer part, they learn about the cash register and the wait station and serving customers and dealing with cash and dealing with complaints, and so there's every student does a little bit in all of the areas of a restaurant, of the Sunshine Cafe.
So that's going to be similar to how it's been. Now, the new two occupations you talked about, one was chef,
right,
which is going to
just be the back of the house. A student will just learn all about food. The student will order it, will get it ready to prepare, will prepare it, and garnish it, and eventually do very, very fancy things with food. Okay. But that student will never do anything in the front of the house.
Okay, they won't deal with the customers.
Right.
Okay, great. Now, the other occupation you talked about was kind of an introduction to hospitality management. What is that going to involve for a student?
That student who enters that program or decides that that's the prong of the three prongs that student would like to do, will do more with numbers and do more with overall managing. That student will do many things that both the crew worker, the food service worker, and the chef will do, but we'll also talk about percentages and food cost percentages and labor percentages and how to schedule and how to deal with cash and how to price and how to do menus and all of the things. We'll touch on all of the things that a restaurant manager has to deal with.
All those personnel functions as well as
personnel functions as well, and that student will eventually run shifts of the Sunshine Cafe.
Okay, great. That sounds exciting. A new direction for the students.
A new direction, and that's the way it has to go, because the industry out there is crying for people who can manage and who have had management experience.
Great.
And those students who are able to do it will get the opportunity here.
So this adds really a career ladder dimension. A student has options to go up the ladder here at the Career Center.
Up the ladder here at the Career Center, and then when they get out, they say, I have been a supervisor at, I can manage people, I have had this experience.
Excellent. Now, 1990, a year from now, when this tape is being made initially, is going to involve more changes. Where do you see your program going in the next year?
The next year is sort of what I just talked about. The year after that, we will take the third prong, which we just talked about, the management prong. We will also introduce those students to different functions in hotels, and we will very, very briefly introduce them to the travel and tourism industry. We won't include at this time anything about being an actual travel agent. Okay. But the service industry as a whole includes resorts and clubs and airlines and travels, as well as the big two, hotels and restaurants. And within restaurants, you have catering and other sorts of food service. We will touch on hotels. We will touch on, more than touch on hotels, we will touch on travel and tourism. But basically just management in the service industry.
Okay, so they're going to get a good smattering of those areas.
Good smattering.
When a student is thinking about coming into the food service program, I'm sure that they're going to be interested in doing a little more in this video than seeing you and I sitting and talking. So let's move into the kitchen and see what the students get involved in on a daily basis there.
Be glad to.
Okay. Well, Sally, this is a busy kitchen. You've got a lot going on. Can you tell me what's happening?
What's happening is this is a Monday, and the restaurant isn't open on Monday. The Sunshine Cafe is open from 11 to 12:30, Tuesday through Thursday. So on Mondays and Fridays we work on mods. All of the programs out here are kind of structured on mods, and so on Mondays and Fridays we cook food. Right now we're preparing a tray, which will eventually go down to the teacher's lounge, and that's how we get a little bit of our money back. They buy the products, but Charlie made tuna fish sandwiches today, and he's going to do some other things later. Down in the corner, which I think the camera will pan in a second, Stacy's throwing together some salads.
Okay.
And again, that will go down to the lounge. So the kitchen is busy. The kitchen is a very, very up-to-date stainless steel kitchen. We're not working with archaic tools here at all. And students are busy from the time they walk in the door, they change their clothes, and there's a schedule on the board, and they've been assigned something to do that will help them complete the program.
I see they're all working very independently, much like they would on the job. So you
Same
must
thing.
have them functioning like a regular restaurant would work.
And they come in and they check the board and they see what they're going to do, and if they have any questions they can ask us, and we wander around and help students out as much as we can. But students here do work independently, and students who can independently work do very, very well in the program.
Okay. On a day when you have the restaurant functioning, what
Right.
kinds of meals do you get into preparing?
We'll do a salad special, like a chef salad or an orange apple salad or something. We have a sandwich special, hot and cold sandwich special. And we have a basic menu that we work off of if the customers don't care for any of the specials.
Okay.
The specials are the same as mods. So students make big batches of food for the restaurant, and they complete a mod or two. So it's
Okay.
all worked into the program. The restaurant menu is practically identical to the mod schedule.
Right.
As far as like the mod, half of the mods deal with food, and the food on the mods is the food that we serve in the restaurant.
Okay. So the students get involved in food preparation for the restaurant, and that satisfies the requirements in class.
Yep.
And then they're also getting very well trained and ready for working out in the industry.
It's the same thing. They're working in a full-service restaurant that opens 3 days a week.
Okay, so as they finish their training, you're working with placement. I would assume the job opportunity in the foods industry, the hospitality industry, as we expand into that, is just excellent.
The job opportunity is overwhelming.
Okay.
When you take the whole industry, when you take the basic job industry as a whole, you can separate them into manufacturing and service. And 10 years ago, it was 60% manufacturing, 40% service. Now, in the world out there today, it's 55% service, 45 manufacturing. The new jobs are in the service industry. If you'll notice the help wanted signs all over the fast food restaurants. Fast food restaurants especially need as many bodies as they can, and any student, any person who is trained, who has experience, especially in management or in food preparation other than fast food, there's a job out there. That's all there is to it. There's a job that is above entry-level job if they've had experience,
Right.
and they're going to get it right here every
Good
day.
practical experience.
Every day.
So a student who wanted to get into management eventually could do it more rapidly probably in hospitality than any place else, really.
That's it. And the negative part is the starting pay might not be as high, but the advancement in hospitality is phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. You can manage a store. A store is what restaurant people call restaurants.
Right.
You can manage a store with 20 to 30 to 40 employees in a year and a half after starting.
Be able to progress rapidly.
Sure,
Well, that
and
sounds
especially
excellent.
if you've had experience.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for your time. This
You're
has been
welcome.
enlightening. We know more about hospitality than we did before we started.
I want to mention my assistant is Charlotte Faye Smith. She's been here 9 years. I have plenty of experience in the restaurant industry and know about hotels, and we're raring to go. And students who come into the program, if they can work independently and if they're serious about it, the sky's the limit.
Well, between the two of you, you've got the team and you've got a bunch of
Yeah.
good recruits here that are already being well trained.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.